What role does tech play in language and its future? Hola, listeners out there. Welcome to AskDusky.com, the search engine that helps acquire linguistic excellence. My name is Oscar Vasquez, founder and CEO of AskDusky.com. I'm here today with Juan Paz, my special guest from Guatemala.
Hola, Oscar. Thanks again for inviting me and having me once again in another edition in your Ask Dosky podcast.
So, Juan, where do you think we're going with language? Since the time when AOL in 1998 introduced the iconic words, "You've got mail."
Oh yes, it's been a while since that time, and we were talking about it a little bit offline or off our podcast or off the show itself. I was still a kid, but even as a kid, as I grew up being a 90s kid, yes, that was like a huge impact. That famous "you got mail" when you got your emails, that's super, like, super important for technology and the way things evolved. So that audio recording did change all of our lives. So tech language, emanating from Silicon Valley in those days, captured with that sound the attention of millions of people.
Yes, it's been quite some time since then. Tech has been through an exciting time in tech language applications and innovation up until today.
Yup. And just look at the language code applied in mobile apps to make life, just much easier. However, language learning apps still kind of lag in innovation when translating to relevant situations. And like me as an English speaking user, I find tech terminology kind of hard to translate into my Spanish sometimes.
Yeah, you're right. Most translators are having a hard time keeping up with so much relevant tech content for Hispanic users going places. It's exciting times for languages like Espanol, and I think English is playing a very important role in shaping the Spanish language of the future.
How so, Oscar?
Well, like you say, Juan, mobile apps and their language code are making life easier. Speaking and translating is also having an impact on how tech helps millions of Hispanics like you to acquire bilingual verbal apps in many areas like work, office, travel for a business, and vacation. Going forward with search engines like AskDusky.com, the future of the Spanish language looks pretty competitive with relevant translations for the smartphone user, for example.
Okay, so how does Astosky translate like smartphone, for example?
Well, Juan, as I say, technology is defining the future of the Spanish language in the region. And Dusky is discussing it today in New Webologic and Automático Spanish. And allow me to translate that. La tecnología está definiendo el futuro del lenguaje español en la región y el Dusky lo está discutiendo hoy en un nuevo español huevológico y automático. So, Dusky adds value to the conversation by just suggesting televersado or smartphone as a possible new translation.
Okay, whoa. Yeah, I never heard that before, but I kind of like it. Instead of teléfono inteligente, which is intelligent phone, according to other translators in English, televersado. Yeah, that does sound definitely way different.
Yeah, I think it's a new expression. But anyway, Juan, I hope going into tomorrow, um, Dusky's listeners put into practice the new and exciting terminology that the Dusky way and stand out in the crowd next time they are in a meetup or office conference.
I'm sure they'll use it. As for me, I'm gonna go ahead and start trying it out for sure.
Yeah, so try it out. And anyway, Juan, I thank you for your interest, and I encourage listeners to click subscribe to listen to more futuristic words and impressive Web Spanish 3.0 for the smartphone user in upcoming podcasts.
Thank you, Oscar.
Oh, thank you.